Chosen one, a truth concerning you was uncovered, and they're losing their sanity over it. Someone finally saw behind the curtain. They discovered the real you, not the distorted image your enemies created. Right now, a person who once helped destroy your name is staring at undeniable evidence that flips their entire reality. Screenshots, recordings, and emails have surfaced, proof that your so-called enemy was the true manipulator all along, and the one they used to hurt you. They've now been betrayed by the very person they trusted. The puppet master just lost control of their strings. Justice is unfolding in divine order, and your protection is revealing itself for what it always was, proof that no darkness can outsmart divine timing. Something supernatural was happening to the person who turned against you. Clear thinking vanished. Obvious red flags became invisible. Decisions made no sense. It was like being under a spell. Whether you call it manipulation, psychological control, or literal spiritual interference doesn't matter. The effect was the same: fog, influence, puppeteering. Your enemy has skills beyond normal deception. The exact wounds to trigger get identified quickly. Which insecurities to exploit become clear immediately. How to create emotional dependency gets mastered completely. This person got studied the way a predator studies prey. Patterns, fears, desires, weak points, everything got exploited. The performance was Oscar-worthy. Your enemy cried at the right moments. Their voice cracked with perfect emotion. Vulnerable stories that weren't even true got shared freely. Values and beliefs got mirrored precisely. Your enemy became whatever this person needed them to be. The mask was so convincing that looking underneath never occurred to anyone. But masks crack under pressure. Enchantments break when confronted with evidence. Spells dissolve in the presence of truth. And that's exactly what happened. This person stumbled onto something meant to stay hidden. Maybe the wrong phone got picked up. Maybe a notification flashed across a screen. Maybe an email meant for someone else got opened. However it happened, discovery occurred. And what got found was damning. Messages between your enemy and other people. Conversations about how easy this person was to manipulate. Plans about draining resources. Mockery about gullibility. Strategies for keeping them blind. And worst of all, the truth about you. Messages admitting your innocence. Laughing about how well the lies worked. Celebrating your isolation. Think of that moment. Reading proof that everything you believed was manufactured. Seeing someone you trusted mock you behind your back. Realizing you destroyed an innocent person based on complete fiction. The cognitive dissonance becomes unbearable. The shame becomes crushing. The rage becomes volcanic. That's what this person is experiencing right now. The spell broke. The fog cleared. Vision returned. And what's visible is horrifying. A reflection appears showing someone who got played, someone who got used, someone who became a weapon in someone else's war, someone who hurt you. Your enemy isn't just some random person. There's a family connection here. This might be your sibling, your younger family member, someone who grew up in your shadow and resented it, someone who always competed with you and always lost, someone who carried jealousy like a badge and finally found a way to act on it. Or maybe it's their family member, someone connected to the person who got manipulated. Either way, there's a sibling energy to this betrayal, a younger, immature, narcissistic energy, someone who operates like a child in an adult body, someone who wants what others have without earning it, someone who destroys rather than builds. This person has been moving in darkness for a long time. This wasn't the first scheme. This wasn't the first victim. There's a pattern. People with resources get targeted, marks get studied, elaborate stories get created, victim gets played while being predator, everything gets taken, and destruction gets left in the wake. The narcissism is off the charts. Genuine belief exists about being entitled to whatever can be taken. No remorse gets felt for the harm caused. Other people become objects to be used, resources to be drained, obstacles to be removed. There's no empathy, no conscience, no moral compass, just appetite and strategy. And the skill level is high. Mirroring gets mastered. Love bombing gets perfected. Trauma bonds get created effortlessly. Isolation from support systems happens smoothly. Gaslighting becomes second nature. Triangulation gets weaponized. Chess gets played while everyone else is playing checkers. This person is dangerous, calculated, cold. But here's what didn't get calculated. Divine timing got ignored. Spiritual protection got dismissed. The fact that chosen ones operate under different rules got overlooked. Your enemy thought you were a regular person. Your enemy thought their tactics would work like they always do. Your enemy was wrong. Let's talk about what got taken. This wasn't just emotional manipulation. This wasn't just reputational damage. This was theft. Real, quantifiable, illegal theft. Your enemy drained this person's life savings completely. The money someone worked years to accumulate. The security someone built slowly over time. The future someone was planning. Gone. And here's what makes the discovery even more devastating. This person found detailed plans, written strategies, calculated timelines. Your enemy documented their own scheme. Records got kept of how to extract maximum value. What got taken and what was still planned to be taken got tracked meticulously. The arrogance is breathtaking. Confidence about never getting caught was so high that a paper trail of malice got left everywhere. When this person saw those documents, something broke inside. Not just trust, not just perception. The entire sense of reality shattered. Because these weren't impulsive actions. These weren't mistakes. These were chess moves planned far in advance. Every intimate moment was calculated. Every vulnerable confession was strategy. Every promise was bait. Nothing was real. If this resonates with your inner knowing, hype this video to help fellow chosen ones find their way here. Think about what that does to someone's psyche. To realize that every cherished memory was manufactured. Every moment thought to be genuine was performance. Every time love was felt, sizing up for extraction was actually happening. The psychological damage from that level of deception is profound. It rewires how you see people, how you trust, how you connect. But here's where it connects back to you, chosen one. Your enemy needed this person completely isolated to execute their plan. Anyone with discernment needed removal. Anyone who might ask questions needed elimination. Anyone who might notice inconsistencies needed to be cut off. And you were the primary threat to their operation. You would have seen through them. You would have warned this person. You would have protected them. So your character assassination served a dual purpose. It removed you as an obstacle while simultaneously testing how much control your enemy had over their victim. If convincing this person to turn on you succeeded, someone known and trusted, then convincing them of anything became possible. Your removal was the proof of concept for total manipulation. The person who betrayed you is understanding this now, seeing how your elimination from their life wasn't organic. It was engineered, remembering how your enemy always brought you up, always had a new story about something you supposedly did, always redirected conversations back to how harmful you were. The obsession makes sense now. It wasn't about protecting them from you. It was about protecting the scheme from your interference. Messages got found where your enemy was laughing about it. Actual conversations where bragging to others about how easy the mark was happened freely, how simple gaining access was, how stupid this person was for trusting. The contempt was always there, hidden behind the mask. And now it's exposed in their own words. The person who betrayed you is seeing these messages repeatedly, each time hoping different words will appear, each time the wounds cut deeper, because being deceived is one thing. Seeing proof that mockery was happening the entire time is another thing entirely. That the person who seemed loving viewed them as nothing more than a resource to exploit and a joke to share with others, and your name comes up in these messages too. Your enemy wrote about you, about how getting rid of you was necessary, about how turning this person against you was easier than expected, about how useful it was to have someone else do their dirty work. You weren't just collateral damage, you were a strategic target, and this person was the weapon used against you. That realization is compounding the mental breakdown happening right now. Not just being a victim, being an accomplice, not just being someone who got hurt, being someone who hurt you. The guilt and the betrayal are crashing into each other, creating a psychological storm with no escape. Every time thoughts go to what was done to them, what got done to you has to be faced. The premeditation is what makes it criminal. This wasn't impulsive, this wasn't passion, this was planned, calculated, executed over time with precision, knowing exactly what was happening, knowing it was wrong, doing it anyway, and thinking escape would be clean. But money leaves traces, financial transactions create records, banks keep logs, credit card statements tell stories, and when this person finally woke up and looked at their finances with clear eyes, the pattern was obvious, the theft was undeniable, the evidence was overwhelming. So now a legal case is building, lawyers are getting involved, forensic accountants are tracing the money, court dates are being set, and your enemy is panicking, because fraud is fraud, theft is theft. No amount of manipulation can erase bank records. No amount of charm works on judges who see documentation. The person who got drained is fighting back, not accepting this quietly, pursuing justice with everything available, because it's not just about the money. It's about being heard, being believed, being validated. It's about making sure this predator doesn't do this to someone else. It's about accountability, and something else is happening in their mind, wondering if you'll be called as a witness, if testimony about the character assassination will be requested, if recounting how you were systematically removed from their life will be necessary. The thought terrifies them, because facing you means facing what was done. Facing the truth means confronting their own actions. Handling seeing you again, knowing what is now known, feels impossible. While all of this was unfolding, while attacks and isolation and lies were being directed at you, protection you couldn't see was operating. You have spiritual covering that operates independently of your awareness, guardian energy, divine intervention, forces that move on your behalf without needing to be asked. Every curse sent your way hit an invisible shield. Every spell reversed back to sender. Every evil intention got redirected to its source. Your enemy tried to bind you and bound themselves. Attempts to limit you limited themselves. Efforts to destroy you initiated their own destruction. Your enemy thought power was on their side, thought their magic was strong, thought their manipulation was unbeatable. No idea existed that someone with the ultimate protection was being dealt with. Stones were being thrown at someone surrounded by an electromagnetic field. Every stone came back and hit them. That's why mistakes started happening. That's why the mask started slipping. That's why evidence started appearing. That's why the person being manipulated started seeing through them. The spiritual attacks sent to you weakened them. The energy meant for your destruction depleted their own power. Literal self-destruction was happening while trying to destroy you. And you didn't have to do anything. No fighting back in the dark arts was required. No cursing them back was necessary. No plotting revenge was needed. You just had to keep your integrity, stay in your light, trust the process, and let the divine handle the rest. This is the power of being chosen. Battles don't get fought the way regular people fight. Constant self-defense isn't necessary. Obsessive proving of innocence isn't required, because an advocate exists in the unseen realm. Forces working for you are more powerful than anything in the physical world. Your enemy tried to use dark practices against you. Rituals might have been done. Prayers against you might have been spoken. Intentional negative energy toward your life might have been sent. But it all backfired, because you can't curse what the divine has blessed. You can't block what heaven has ordained. You can't stop who the universe is pushing forward. Every attack made you stronger. Every betrayal gave you clarity. Every loss cleared space for something better. Every closed door redirected you to the right one. Everything that looked like a setback was actually set up for your comeback. The person who turned against you is having the worst awakening of their life. Not just realizing manipulation happened, realizing being the weapon happened. Not just understanding lies were told, understanding those lies got spread. Not just seeing betrayal occurred, seeing participation in your betrayal happened. Specific moments with you are being remembered. Conversations where you tried to warn them about something feeling off. Times when you questioned things that didn't add up. instances where you expressed concern about this person getting close to them, and dismissal happened. Your enemy got defended. You got accused of being jealous or negative or controlling. Every warning you gave is replaying now. Every concern you raised makes perfect sense now. Every boundary you tried to set was actually protection that got rejected. You saw what couldn't be seen. You sensed what got refused to be acknowledged. And instead of trusting your discernment, you became the problem. The guilt is eating them alive. But it's not simple guilt. It's layered. Guilt for believing the lies. Guilt for spreading them. Guilt for cutting you off. Guilt for defending your enemy. Guilt for participating in your isolation. Guilt for every harsh word spoken about you. Guilt for every time your enemy got chosen over you. But underneath that guilt is something more disturbing. Shame. Deep visceral shame about how completely fooling happened. About how easily manipulation worked. About how what was right in front of them couldn't be seen. About how becoming exactly what your enemy needed them to be occurred. A puppet, a pawn, a tool. Every memory of how you got treated is replaying now. Every conversation where your enemy got defended against you. Every moment where choosing to believe the lies instead of trusting instincts about your character happened. Every time contribution to your pain occurred. It's all there, crystal clear, undeniable. Realization about potentially destroying something valuable is also hitting. You might have been important to them. You might have been a genuine connection. You might have been someone who would have supported them if asking had just happened. You might have been the person who would have warned them about the predator if listening had just occurred. The loss is hitting in waves. Resources got lost. Sense of reality got lost. Ability to trust their own judgment got lost. But you got lost too. And depending on who you were to them, that loss might be the one that breaks them completely. Because money can be earned back. Trust can be rebuilt over time. But some connections once severed can't be restored. Look, you already know the attacks weren't random. And if you're paying attention, you can feel it. Their walls are closing in. So let's talk about what we're doing about it. That's why I built Destiny Engine. It generates personalized sequences that help you rewire betrayal into transcendence, turn isolation into sacred power, and transform their downfall into your rise. We are using the Dark Elite's own weapons against them, taking their declassified consciousness technology that programmed competition and scarcity, and repurposing it to serve cooperative intelligence. The beauty is you don't even have to lift a finger. You put on the headphones, press play, and your subconscious is rewired while your enemies collapse under the weight of their own lies. This is why I created it in the beginning, so everything they did to break you becomes fuel for your purpose. The collective upgrade is underway. Start your Destiny Engine for $1 today and watch divine justice accelerate in your life. Link in the description. Looking at old photos is happening now. Old messages are being reviewed. Trying to remember who existed before your enemy entered their life. Trying to find the version of themselves that had discernment, that had boundaries, that wouldn't have fallen for such obvious manipulation, and that person can't be found, because that person died slowly over time, replaced by someone unrecognizable. But fear is mixed with the guilt, fear that losing you forever happened, fear that forgiveness will never come, fear that something irreplaceable got destroyed, fear that even if apology happens, even if explanation occurs, even if begging takes place, it won't matter, because some bridges can't be rebuilt once burned. And terror exists that you're not even thinking about them, that moving on so completely happened, that their betrayal is just a closed chapter that doesn't get revisited, that while drowning in remorse is happening on their end, thriving in your new life is happening on your end, that their absence from your world didn't create a void, because filling it with better things happened, better people, better energy. That possibility terrifies more than your anger would, because anger means caring still exists. Anger means emotion is still connected to them. But indifference means truly not mattering anymore. And for someone who just realized destroying someone important happened, being forgotten is worse than being hated. Grappling with a disturbing question is also happening. How many other people did your enemy turn against you? How many other lies are circulating? How many people believe things about you that aren't true? And if reaching out to apologize happens, will you even believe it? Why would trust be given to someone who proved being so easily manipulated? Why would access be granted to someone who showed such poor judgment? These questions spiral constantly. Sleep doesn't come easy anymore. When it does, dreams about you occur. Sometimes apology is happening. Sometimes confrontation is happening. Sometimes just looking at them with disappointment is happening. And waking up with that look burned into consciousness occurs, because disappointment is harder to carry than anger. And underneath everything, a desperate need to reach out to you exists, to apologize, to explain what happened, to try to make it right. Messages get composed that don't get sent. Conversations get rehearsed that haven't happened. Hope exists for a chance to fix what got broken. But every time reaching out starts, fear stops it. What if blocking happened? What if no response comes? What if hearing exactly what gets deserved happens? The truth about you is destroying them, not the lies your enemy told. The real truth, that you were innocent, that you were loyal, that you were trying to help, that you were the one who saw clearly. That truth is more painful than any accusation, because it means everything done to you was wrong, completely, totally, inexcusably wrong. While spiraling is happening elsewhere, you're rising. While collapse is happening elsewhere, you're building. While drowning in consequences is happening elsewhere, you're swimming in blessings. This is your vindication season. This is when everything that was stolen gets restored. This is when your name gets cleared without you having to clear it. People are seeing the truth now. The ones who believed the lies are questioning everything. The ones who stayed neutral are picking sides. The ones who always knew are being validated. Your character is revealing itself through the contrast. Your integrity is proving itself through your response. Your strength is showing itself through your composure. But here's what's really powerful about this vindication. It's not coming from you defending yourself. It's not coming from you presenting evidence. It's not coming from you telling your side. It's coming from your enemy's own exposure. Their mask falling off is revealing your truth. Their schemes being uncovered is proving your innocence. Their character being exposed is highlighting yours. This is divine vindication. When the universe itself clears your name. When circumstances align to prove what you always knew. When truth surfaces without you having to dig for it. When justice manifests without you having to fight for it. This is what happens when protection by forces beyond the physical realm exists, and people are noticing something else about you. How unbothered you've been, how focused you've remained, how building continued while others were trying to tear you down, how peace got maintained while chaos swirled around you, how integrity stayed intact while others lost theirs. That composure is speaking louder than any defense ever could. You're not gloating. You're not celebrating their downfall. You're not obsessed with their punishment. You're just living, building, growing, moving forward. And that dignified response is more powerful than any revenge could ever be. That's the energy of someone who never lost their center. Someone who knew the truth would come out. Someone who trusted the process. There's a specific kind of power that comes from being lied about and not defending yourself, from being attacked and not attacking back, from being isolated and using that time to go deeper into yourself, from being misunderstood and not needing everyone to understand. That power is quiet, it's steady, it's unshakable, and it's yours now. Your enemy thought burial was happening to you. Actually, planting was happening. Every lie was water. Every attack was fertilizer. Every betrayal was pruning. And now blooming in ways never imagined is occurring. Stepping into levels that can't be accessed by them is happening. Operating in frequencies they can't reach is taking place. Moving in dimensions they can't perceive is unfolding. The contrast between your life now and what your enemy tried to reduce you to is staggering. Attempts to make you small resulted in expansion. Attempts to limit you resulted in breaking through every ceiling. Attempts to silence you resulted in your voice getting stronger. Attempts to isolate you resulted in building a community. Attempts to stop you resulted in acceleration. And it's not just external. You're different internally. Wisdom exists now that didn't exist before. Discernment is razor sharp. Boundaries are non-negotiable. Standards are crystal clear. Knowing who you are now is complete. Knowing what you're worth now is certain. Knowing what you'll accept and what you won't is definite. People who meet you now have no idea what survival happened. What gets seen is someone powerful, someone centered, someone who knows themselves completely, someone who operates with quiet confidence, someone who doesn't need validation because self-validation exists, someone who doesn't seek approval because self-approval exists. The fire refined you. The betrayal revealed your strength. The isolation connected you deeper to yourself and to the divine. The lies forced you to know your truth so completely that nobody else's opinion could shake it. Coming out of this stronger happened, wiser, more powerful, more aligned. A moment is coming soon. The person who betrayed you is going to reach out. Apology will be attempted, explanation will be offered, amends will be sought, and deciding how to respond will be necessary. This decision matters because it's not about them, it's about you. It's about who you're becoming and what you're allowing into your new season. Some people will tell you that forgiving and reconnecting has to happen, that holding boundaries makes you bitter, that refusing to give another chance makes you cold. Those people are wrong. Forgiveness is about your freedom, not their access. Releasing resentment while maintaining distance is possible. Wishing them well without letting them back in is valid. Other people will tell you to never speak to them again, that anyone who betrayed you once will do it again, that trust once broken can't be rebuilt. Those people might be right, or projection of their own wounds onto your situation might be happening. Only you know what's right for your path. What matters is checking in with yourself, feeling what your spirit is saying, noticing whether genuine guidance toward reconnection exists or just guilt and obligation, noticing whether your peace increases or decreases when imagining letting them back in, noticing what your body tells you. Your intuition knows. Your enemy is watching their carefully constructed world collapse in real time. The person manipulated is now their accuser. The money stolen is being traced. The lies told are being exposed. The mask worn is shattered, and no way to stop the avalanche exists. What's fascinating is watching attempts to fix this. Spinning new narratives is happening. Creating fresh lies to cover old ones is being attempted. Reaching out to people trying to get ahead of the story is occurring. Playing victim again, even though evidence proves being the perpetrator, is happening. It's desperate, it's transparent, it's pathetic, but nobody's buying it this time. The performance that worked so well before is falling flat now. People have seen the evidence. Testimonies have been heard. The pattern has been watched emerging. Your enemy's credibility is completely destroyed. Every word out of their mouth is now suspect. Every tear is now seen as manipulation. Every apology rings hollow. Your enemy is facing that emptiness now. Behind the mask is nothing. No authentic self. No real identity. Just a void filled with appetite and strategy. And that void is consuming them. Looking in the mirror without seeing the monster everyone else now sees is impossible. Sleeping without nightmares of consequences catching up is impossible. Relaxing is impossible, because the paranoia is constant. Isolation exists because nobody trusts them. Every relationship is now under scrutiny. People are going back through interactions wondering what was real and what was manipulation. Friends are distancing themselves. Family members are questioning what was thought to be known. Professional connections are severing ties. The isolation is complete, and it's suffocating. Watching you thrive is happening. Seeing you rise is occurring. Witnessing your vindication is taking place, and it's killing them. Because the whole point was destroying you. The whole scheme was designed to elevate themselves while burying you. But the opposite happened. You elevated while they buried themselves. Every time evidence of your success gets seen, it's like a knife twisting. Every time news about your blessings gets heard, it confirms their failure. Every time witnessing your peace happens, it highlights their chaos. You became the mirror showing them what could never be achieved. Authentic, powerful, genuinely successful, actually blessed. Your enemy is learning a hard lesson. You can't curse what the divine has blessed. You can't stop what heaven has ordained. You can't destroy who the universe is protecting. Everything got thrown at you. Every tactic in the arsenal got used. Every manipulation strategy got deployed. And you're still standing, still rising, still winning. The scale of destruction is becoming public. The full scope of deception is being revealed. And with each new revelation, the world gets smaller, options get fewer, the future gets darker. Watching everything built through lies crumble into nothing is happening, and nobody exists to blame but themselves. Some people in that position wake up. Facing what was done happens. Genuine remorse gets felt. Change gets attempted. But most don't. Most just get angry. Blaming everyone else happens. Playing victim louder occurs. Taking responsibility never happens. Growing never occurs. Just moving on to the next mark. Whatever your enemy does is irrelevant to you. Experiencing exactly what got created is happening. Living in the reality that got built is occurring. And whether learning happens or not is between them and their conscience. Your focus stays on your own path. Your energy stays in your own lane. Their fate is not your concern. The truth that got uncovered wasn't just about your enemy's schemes. It was about you. The real you. Not the character that got assassinated. Not the villain that got painted. Not the problem that got invented. The actual you. Your integrity. Your character. Your innocence, your strength, and that truth is spreading like wildfire now. It's reaching corners you didn't even know existed. People you haven't thought about in a long time are hearing about what really happened. Mutual connections are getting the full picture. Communities that heard one side are now hearing the complete narrative, and everywhere this truth lands, your reputation is being restored. You're being seen differently now. Not as someone who got betrayed, but as someone who survived betrayal and thrived. Not as someone who got lied about, but as someone who lived truth despite the lies. Not as someone who got isolated, but as someone who used isolation to transform. The narrative has completely flipped. The person who betrayed you is losing their sanity over this revelation, spiraling between guilt and fear and shame, and desperate hope is constant. Eating is difficult. Sleep is impossible. Focus is non-existent. Consumption by the realization of what was done and what was lost and what was destroyed is total. And watching you from a distance is happening. Seeing your life unfold without them in it. Witnessing your success, observing your peace, noticing your growth. And it's torture. Not because wanting to see you fail exists, but because realization happened that being part of this was possible. Celebrating with you instead of mourning the loss of you could have been reality. Being in your corner instead of being weaponized against you was an option. The truth concerning you has been uncovered. Not their lies, your truth. And that truth is this: you are unstoppable, you are protected, you are powerful, you are chosen, and nothing, absolutely nothing can change that. Welcome to your era of dominance. This is where you belong. This is what you earned. This is who you've always been. The world is just now catching up to what the divine always knew. You're not emerging, you're being revealed. The truth about you isn't being discovered, it's being confirmed. The same people who doubted you are now watching you. The same voices that questioned you are now silent. The same energy that tried to dim you is now being eclipsed by your brightness. You didn't have to prove anything. Your life is the proof. Your enemy wanted to write your story, but only you hold that pen. Your enemy wanted to define your narrative, but only you have that authority. Your enemy wanted to determine your outcome, but only the divine orchestrates that. And what got orchestrated is victory. Complete, total, absolute. What's coming next is beyond what you can imagine, bigger than what you've envisioned, greater than what you've hoped for. Because the divine doesn't just restore, it multiplies. It doesn't just heal, it upgrades. It doesn't just vindicate, it elevates. You're stepping into rooms you were kept out of. You're accessing levels you were blocked from. You're receiving opportunities you were denied. And the beauty is this: you're walking in with wisdom they don't have. strength they couldn't build, character they couldn't forge, because you earned this through fire. The person losing their sanity over discovering the truth about you will have to live with what they did. Your enemy will have to face the consequences of their schemes. But you get to live in freedom, peace, power, purpose. That's not just winning, that's dominance. And that's where this ends. Not with you wondering if justice will come. Justice is here. Not with you hoping for vindication. Vindication happened. Not with you waiting for your turn. Your turn is now. This is your declaration. This is your moment. This is your truth. Walk in it. Own it. Live it. Because you've earned every bit of it. Welcome to your dominance era, chosen one. The world has been waiting for you, and you're finally here.